Man, I am Clint, that guy is Doug. Let's just jump right into it. We've been driving all day from LA to Arizona. We're hot, we're tired, we're hungry. And we want to talk about your Los Angeles Dodgers. So guys, on today's show, we're talking about baseball. We got to talk about the Mookie Betts stuff, the alleged cheating and all that Red Sox stuff. If you haven't heard about it, we'll dive into that a little later into the show. We got a news update. Miguel Vargas is hurt. We have our first injury. There's other little sprinkles of things going on at Camelback Ranch, and we're alive, and we're going to be out at Camelback collecting a bunch of crap for you guys for the next week plus. Doug, tell the people how you're feeling again.
I'm feeling great. We're out here in Arizona, like you said. We're covering all things Dodger baseball from A to Z out here in AZ. An exciting time. Baseball is in the air, and it's not your normal spring training because there's so many questions this time around, so many storylines to follow. You have the young players, the youth movement. There's been so much made about, so a lot of new acquisitions to get into. So yeah, I'm very excited about everything that's going on this spring training.
He's egg-cited. Guys, drop into the comments. Let us know where you are representing Dodgers Nation tonight. We want to have some fun with you. We got YouTube open over here, so if you see me looking off to the side, I'm not being rude. I'm trying to read your comments to the best of our ability. Obviously, our set looks a lot different right now. Thank you to Boss Man for putting us up in this wonderful Airbnb out here in Arizona. We're having a good time. Got here. We're alive. Our legs are good.
Geshmake said, A for effort, gentlemen. Hey,
A for
appreciate
effort.
that.
That's what we're doing, you know, something new. You gotta change a little bit.
It's
Craig
right.
Osterberg checking in from the 310. Iris Case is back to the studio from now on. Listen, we want to get you guys some hot content from Camelback, so this is the best way to do it. We're doing this right now because we want to have some fun. LDBC's Most Wanted says you're live. Yes, we see the words. We appreciate you guys. Rebecca's checking in from North Carolina. Geshmake is checking in from Folsom State Prison. Let's go. Johnny818 Northridge. Matthew Castaic, California. I love to be in a lake right about now. Alfonso says Padres fan rubbing their hands with the yellow jacket with the anonymous Dodgers cheating rumor. Yeah, the rumor stuff, the cheating stuff has been in the ethos, in the headlines over the last week or two. Doug dropped a great video yesterday, right, about all the cheating stuff, or yesterday or Sunday. So check it out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. But what do you want to do? You want to hit the Mookie stuff first, or do you want to get into all of the little updates from Camelback Ranch here in Arizona?
It feels like the people want to talk Mookie. I think that's one of the hot topics right now in Dodger land. You have this new book by Evan Drellich that really dives into a lot of this. So this is really resurfacing. It's like an onion. You just keep peeling back and you have to learn more about it. But I think when it comes to the Dodgers, and now they're linked on another level because one, they were accused of cheating. I dropped a whole video on that. You guys can go check that out. But also, they hired J.T. Watkins. And they not only hired J.T. Watkins, Mookie Betts was a strong advocate. And when the Dodgers needed a new hitting coach, he wanted them to bring in Watkins. So kind of the first thing I want to say, we'll kind of dive into some of these accusations and what Mookie told Dylan Hernandez of the LA Times, is that J.T. Watkins is not going to have a live video feed at Dodger Stadium. So if you're a Dodger fan out there thinking, oh, the Dodgers hired this guy who got caught cheating, he served his time, and might cheat again for the Dodgers, he doesn't really have that option as far as using that live in-game video feed. But when it comes to Mookie Betts, it's really interesting. I see a lot of people out there, they are saying that Mookie cheated, and they kind of point to the fact that he had that great year in 2018 where he hit 346, and his batting average hasn't been...
This is MVP year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, Mookie's always been a very good player, but that was... We call that an HNL. That's a whole nother level of a ball player that he put together that year. We got to pause for a second because we got to shout out our legend, MH Dodger for Life on YouTube, dropping the $99 super chat. Incredible as always. We appreciate you, MH. Check it out. 559 Fresno says finally time for Dodger baseball. Yes, there will be Dodger baseball this Saturday, and we will be there all covering. Technically, we won't be at Camelback. We're going to be at Maryvale or American Family Field or whatever the hell they call it. But anyways, to cut you off on your rhythm, it was very worth it because of our friend MH. But get back into
Chili's! Make it rain on us. Make it rain on us.
Going to Chili's tonight.
Chili's, baby.
Double that per diem, baby. Let's go.
Baby back rib.
But yeah, that's the news right now. Mookie, they've always kind of, I guess we could say, talked around it. You know, Dave, or I liked one of the lines Mookie said, or Clayton Kershaw. He's the one who said there needs to be a clear differential between what the Astros were doing and what everybody else was doing. And at the time, the league was not doing enough to police the video that was happening, that was running rampant in these clubhouses, entire rooms being built just outside the dugout to be able to get video to players quicker, or signs, or whatever it may be. But you know, if you're not finding a way to relay those signs in real time to a batter, you know, even with the bases empty, that was what the Astros were doing. They had the banging, they had the whistling, trash cans, all that kind of stuff, and I agree with Mookie. This was different.
It was different, but on the same,
this video, it's trying to steal signs, it's trying to decipher signs, but the Astros are doing it at a different level.
They were doing it at a different level, and I said it's like comparing stealing a pen from the bank to basically clearing out the whole vault and doing a whole bank robbery or something like that. But at the end of the day, the Red Sox crossed the line. JT Watkins, he was their video coordinator, and he was responsible for accessing that live game feed. And the difference with him is he used it to supplement and update players in real time. And there's a lot of talk that it was mainly when there was a runner on second base, so it wasn't the entire time. But look, I think that from an optics standpoint, though, like I said, I would never put this in the same class of what the Astros were doing, because they did it repeatedly. It was trash can banging. It was a major scheme. But still, I just don't like the fact what Mookie says. It's kind of hard to remember, but give us some credit. We had Cy Young winners. We had MVPs. We had Gold Glove winners. We had Silver Sluggers. We had all that. Take that into account. I don't like that, because, like, look, Barry Bonds was a Hall of Fame player before he took steroids, and then you saw what it did to him. That argument I don't really like from Mookie Betts, is the fact that he's trying to claim that, oh, just because we had a great team, it means that, oh, we didn't benefit from some possible cheating.
It is very, dismissive, and we could say the same thing about the 2017 Dodgers. That was a team that had stars, that had MVPs, that had, all-stars, Cy Young Award winners. It had some great pieces that was robbed of a fair fight against the Astros in 17, and then for something maybe to happen. Mookie said they weren't doing it in the postseason, in the World Series. Easy to say that. Of course, we don't know. But another one of the things that kind of got people up in arms a little bit before we get into the comments, one of the things that got people up in arms was the fact that they were paying this Watkins dude while he was suspended, and Mookie kind of defended that because, one, it sounds like they're just really good friends, but what do you think about the idea of paying a dude who was suspended for cheating?
Again, I don't love the optics of that. When you consider that JT Watkins, he was the front of this mission for the Red Sox. And I'm waiting for, Clint, I'm waiting for 10 years from now. I'm waiting for 15 years from now when some of these players aren't in the league, and maybe they might consider going on record. Maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years now when you get some deathbed confessions or something like that. Because if you look at the numbers, the Red Sox, they hit 353 with runners in scoring position in that series. They also won 108 games that year, so you had that home field advantage, so they absolutely benefited from it. And yes, they were a great team. They were led by Alex the Cheater Cora, which also is a common thread in all this. But yeah, I think the fact that Mookie has been such a strong advocate lets you know that, look, you can be a cheater, you can be someone who engages in nefarious activity, but also be good at your job. A lot of the biggest cheaters are good at their job. Bernie Madoff was good at his job, but still cheated. So he can help the Dodgers. I mean, he's a guy that can help give them a competitive advantage. But I think if you're the Dodgers standpoint, the fact that you are one of the teams that has been mentioned in this cheating scandal from all these different teams, and those are the three teams that were dominating the sport, the Astros, the Dodgers, and the Boston Red Sox. So I think from an optics standpoint, I think, hey, there's other guys out there that could possibly do what JT Watkins does. We also know this organization, they like to cater to their superstars. Freddie Freeman, they bring in his friend Jason Heyward. Mookie Betts, they know they cater to him as much as possible, and they bring in a guy like JT Watkins. But to me, that just says, look, this Apple Watch scandal, look, this Apple Watch got for like $300. For $300, you could cheat just like the Boston Red Sox, okay? So, yeah, it was the Boston cheat party, And I think this really just confirms that they were not the Boston Red Sox, or the Boston Dirty Sox, and we need to throw them in the hamper. And really, kind of, I still think that you could say that World Series is somewhat illegitimate. Not as much as the Astros, but still, it doesn't sit well with me, the fact that they were able to compile that record they were in the regular season.
The team won 108 games.
And we won 111 games, and one just, no, but too soon. But, I mean, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the fact they brought in JT Watkins? Glenn, I want to hear from you.
To me, it is what it is. If it's something that's going to make the team better on the field and it's going to be done legitimately, I'm okay. You know, you get what is the whole thing? You know, forgive and forget sort of thing, or maybe not forget, but just because he did something that his club asked him to do does not mean he should be without a job in Major League Baseball for the rest of his life. Some people aren't going to like that, but that's reality, you know?
Yeah, he did his time, and look, the reality is that this organization, you have to trust them to identify baseball minds, because they have some of the brightest baseball minds in the sport, and if JT Watkins can help the Dodgers in any way, you have to feel good about it. But yeah, I think the thing that just doesn't sit well with me is some of Mookie's comments just saying like, just because we had all these great players, we had all this talent.
Yeah, it does not wash it. Absolutely does not wash it away. Let's see. What do we got? We got people are loving the sound here. We're still working on that, guys. Hopefully, as we progress into working out of Airbnb. I mean, we literally got here and had to set up in an hour and 15 minutes, so bear with us a little bit. Yeah. It does sound better that way.
It really does, yeah.
But everybody's already changed their audio, or has their audio going. What's going on? Craig says Boston shouldn't have gone to the World Series if they cheated. I mean, you can't. I understand the idea, the concept that you can't just negate a season and you can't switch to, okay, well, who else was in the championship series and now let's go put them in the World Series. Somebody's asking about burning their Cody Bellinger jersey. No, don't burn jerseys. That's weak.
Donate them.
Yeah, donate them. You know.
I look at it.
Cody would like it. This Cody Lou, he's right there. Wave in front of the camera. There it is, sort of. There it is. There's Cody's hand. If you guys like more Cody's hand, drop them super chats so we can get better audio. Carnivorous Interactivity says, nice place, homies. Thank you. I just bought it.
Brand new beer.
We got a shout out, Boss Man, taking care of us, putting up here in this sweet spot. Here in Arizona, you look outside the window and you literally see Dodger Spring Training Camp, so it's pretty cool. Check it out on our Instagram. We're going to be posting a bunch of stuff while we're out here, by the way, so make sure you're subscribed on IG, make sure you're following on Twitter, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, because we got a bunch of content coming your way, shorts, reels, keeping it reels, then soon enough we'll be getting into actual baseball content. Tim Rogers says, send me the jersey, send our boy SD Dodger Tim that Cody Bellinger jersey. We got some Noah love. Noah's very famous now. He's getting recognized at Target. So Noah's over there being our, what do we want to call you right now? Are you like our, what do you call it? He's our bouncer.
A hype man.
Hype man. Man. Cobra Commander says any cheating should null and void a game, World Series. What are your thoughts on that, Doug? Do you think, like, we heard a lot about the Astros and their cheating and the idea of that title being vacated. I don't think it should be, maybe it should be vacated. I don't think it should go to the Dodgers. That's for sure. Don't give it to the other team just because. It should be vacated. But what are your thoughts? Should those World Series not count? And it doesn't sound soft coming from Dodger fans to say the 2 World Series you lost in. Those shouldn't count.
Yeah, I think in the court of public opinion, no one's going to say those World Series are about. They mean absolutely nothing. But on the same token, look at the players that benefited contractually, financially. But I do think at some point in Major League Baseball, everyone wants to come clean, put an asterisk by Barry Bonds, put an asterisk by what happened in 2017. But we know they're just never going to do that. But that's why it's on us fans to continue to remind them to do that. I remember at the All-Star game, I talked to Rob Manfred face-to-face. And I literally told Rob Manfred, I was like, hey, you owe us a World Series trophy, man. You're going to be here in November, and he just kind of laughed it off. So kind of had to do it. But look, I think the reality is that nothing's really going to change with that. But I think that hopefully at some point the players show a little more remorse. I mean, we haven't even seen the Astros movie or the definitive Astros book, so I don't think it's going to be going away anytime soon. And look, the good news is that hopefully Major League Baseball has cleaned up its act. It's cleaned up its act with the video room that got abused. It's cleaned up its act with the sticky stuff. So that really is the theme with Major League Baseball. They usually find some type of way to game the system, and then someone crosses the line. Someone takes it too far.
That's sports in general. You always want to get any advantage you can get, but just sucked it happened to the Dodgers 2 years in a row.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean,
some good comments going on here. Let's see. Dorothy Gale says, "How about using tech to make sign stealing impossible by letting the catcher and pitcher use Apple Watch?
Change the sign."
Well, we've seen that with the PitchCom, and I think something else is new. News coming this year where pitchers can call their own pitches, so there's less time in between. Because we all know nobody wants to watch baseball games, according to Rob Manfred. So they got to go quick. You got to go real quick to get through a baseball game. Rebecca says JT being a Red Sox is weird. Yes, we saw him in his uniform today on Instagram. Some people having a hard time with it. We've seen over the years. We've seen a lot of people leave LA. It sucks, I guess, when we actually start to see him play a game. That'll be a little bit different. But at least he's got friends there. He's got good friend Alex Verdugo and, of course, Kike Hernandez and all of that kind of stuff. Let's see. Carnivorous Lunar Activity says, live from Clayton Kersaw's kitchen. Let's go. Deaderhead said, should have got an Airbnb with a view of the ocean. Lol. I like that one. And Carnivorous Lunar Activity says, as long as D-Mac has access to the bicep curls, any place is good. Gun show? You trying to go gun show or what? What's going on here?
I would flex, but I like this shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Oh!
I'm just playing. I'm wearing the Dodgers bodysuit with the belly and all they're wearing for the costume. I got some rocking that.
You guys should have saw him earlier before the show. He's standing back here. He's just kind of rubbing the belly, feeling good about himself, feeling sexy, feeling ready to bring you some great Dodgers content. Alonzo R says, yo, Doug, take a shot if you think the Dodgers will be better than last year.
Take a shot? I think they'll go deeper in the postseason.
No, you have to take a shot.
Imaginary shot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't have any. We literally have nothing in here. We got.
You want Chug McCain? You want some Chug McCain? I got
We're going to Walmart after this, so thank you, MH.
Woo!
Thank you, MH, for sponsoring our YouTube run, because we got to get Coke Zero. We got to get CZ. We got to get water.
Cholula hot sauce. That's what it does.
No more Arizona tap water. I don't want to die out here.
We got to get Arizona iced tea. They only have that here. Yes. We got to take advantage of that while we're here.
Hell yeah, I'm in. Let's go.
I like doing that.
Yeah. We got one. I'm gonna butcher the name, but it's Muashi Sensui says you guys should do a cooking show now. You down?
Yes.
Cooking?
Cholula butter tacos.
Oh, you guys should see. Doug is. It's terrifying to think that this man is an adult. But it's great. We love you.
We'll do some cooking for sure.
Goofy Ball 19 wants a shout out. Do we want to give Goofy Ball 19 a shout out?
Absolutely, man.
Goofy Ball 19.
Give you all the shout outs, my man.
Shout out. All right. Let's go. Let's get back into actual Dodger talk because we want to get out of here. And again, we're going to be bringing y'all a lot of content over the next week plus. But let's talk about what's going on at Dodger camp right now. Miguel Vargas already hurt. Games haven't started. It's a tough look, but it doesn't seem to be anything to overly worry about yet. I think we started talking about this on the stream that broke. So give us the Miguel Vargas fractured pinky thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's hopefully going to be a lot of nothing. He took a ball off the pinky on his right hand. The scan showed a hairline fracture, so hopefully it doesn't turn into anything. But for a guy like Miguel Vargas, a guy that's trying to establish himself this year at second base, a guy that hasn't played an inning of second base at the big league level, you want him to be healthy. You want him not to have any setbacks. So I don't think it's going to be a big deal at all whatsoever, but it is something to talk about because not very many storylines as of yet, but we also know too that this team has been decimated by injuries over the last few seasons. Like I said, it's felt like an episode of Squid Game at times, but hopefully that's not a sign of things to come for this Dodgers team because you want guys to stay healthy. Miguel Vargas is a guy that needs those reps. He needs that experience, and hopefully this won't linger.
I think the timing of it, the fact that it happened at all sucks because of how much this kid has been talked about throughout the offseason. It's a bad look for fans that are looking to get into this post-JT transition era. Trey Turner's gone, so you're losing your second baseman as he becomes your shortstop, and Miggy's trying to get good at the position. But again, luckily it's just the pinky on his throwing end, so it's not affecting his ability to field, and that's the main thing he needs to work on. He could fall out of bed and hit. They've been telling us, they're trying to shove down our throats. Yeah. But that's one thought on that. So hopefully he doesn't miss too many games. Luckily he's staying around. He's not going off to play in the WBC or anything, so that'll be good. The other stuff, Jason Heyward, Sarah Morris just brought it up. Thank you for checking in. As always, Sarah, Jet Blackberry says, Clinton D-Mac looked different for some reason.
That AZ, got that AZ glow.
I feel different.
Got that dog in you?
Ooh.
Feels so funny. It got baloney in my shoes.
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, baseball. Jason Heyward making headlines at Dodger camp because he hit one home run off of 2022 National League All-Star pitcher Tony Anthony Catman Gonsolin, our friend. Yeah. Anything to them, the Dodgers immediately resurrecting the career of a 33-year-old who is basically, at best, an average hitter throughout his career?
That's the thing. I mean, with Jason Heyward, he has struggled not just last year, but 4 years. In his 7 years in Chicago, he posted an above-average WRC plus exactly once. Last year, he hit 204 out of 61 weighted runs created plus. He's been injured, but I do think as far as his buy-in, I do think he feels re-energized, rejuvenated, playing with this team that's a true World Series contender. We know that he's a guy that is going to believe in himself, and he's a guy that sees that center field position as, who's my competition? I mean, if Trace Thompson, a guy that's a journeyman minor leaguer, can turn things around and have success with the Dodgers, if a James Outman, a guy who's unproven in center field, a Chris Taylor, who really want him as their everyday center fielder, I think the answer is no, because that takes away from his value. His value is being that Chris Army knight playing all around the diamond. So I think Jason Heyward knows that, hey, if I can get this bat to just be average, defensively, I'm a 5-time Gold Glove Award winner. Yeah. And I think that's what he sees, because Cody Bellinger, he played center field last 2 seasons, had a WRC plus of 73. So his bat was 27% below league average, but he was on the field because he could play some defense. So, yeah, I think if you get anywhere close to being a competent bat, I see him getting an opportunity. I think the big concern is his inability to hit high-velocity pitching last season. He's got that long swing. They are saying that he may have unlocked some things and this and that, but I think the good thing, though, is if he can figure some things out and actually carve out a role on this team, then that's your clubhouse leader. Not the clubhouse leader, but one of them, because he has a strong and powerful voice, and you just can't teach that.
Yeah, he's somebody I wrote about last night on the internet. He's one of the guys that he needs to play his way off of that roster to not be on that roster. Dave already sounds like he loves him. They're not going to take away Freddie's dude that early. He's got an opportunity to open with this club unless something goes wrong. I mean, we looked, last year early in spring training, they signed your boy Kevin Pillar, bro. Jake Lamb came along at some point, but they signed these kind of guys that seemed like options, seemed like they might try to force him on the roster or whatever. This is a guy they definitely want on that roster. They want that veteran leadership. He's a guy who comes with a lot of clubhouse moxie and stories to back it up. We heard all about the 2016 Cubs in that World Series and his rah-rah and leading the rain delay clubhouse speech to rally that team to go on to beat the Cleveland Ball Club. If he can be good, we know he can play center field, we know he can play right field, like you're saying, if he can hit, honestly, if he can hit what Cody can hit at a fraction of the price, it's a good deal. It gives you more time with James Outman to pick up a lot more at bats in the minor leagues. It gives you some time to see if Trace Thompson turns into a pumpkin or not. We've said it time and time again, the roster that opens, or that is laid out there on opening day, is not going to be the roster that is playing in October. So right now, give him a shot. And of course, we didn't mention Nando, but 390 brings it up. David Peralta. This is another guy who's going to really get some opportunities and really pushes.
Oh, yeah. I'm really excited about Peralta, for sure.
Yeah, he seems excited. I mean, he's somebody who's absolutely crushed right-handed pitching over the years. So to get him and J.D. Martinez somewhere in the middle of that lineup,
I think too. I mean, we know that Chris Taylor, of course, is going to be on the rosters. Of course, is going to have an opportunity. But if he continues to struggle, Peralta is the perfect guy to platoon in left field. Who knows? Maybe Miguel Vargas sees some time in left field, and you platoon them as well. So they do have some options. There's no question about it. And then I think Jason Heyward too. I remember we asked James Alvin, asked him about this outfield competition, learning from some guys. The first name he brought up was Jason Heyward, not just what he does on the field with his glove, but also as a presence, as a guy that's taken some of these guys under his wing and really taught them really some of his tricks. Because, yeah, defensively he's been fantastic. You also love the fact, too, that the Chicago Cubs are footing the bill, right? I mean, they owe him $22 million. They're really only paying him Dodgers pay him $720,000. So it's kind of funny how that works out.
Yeah.
Your non-tender Cody Bellinger was expected to take him $18.1 million, and then you get Jason Heyward, who's on the Cubs. So I've been saying for years is Cody Bellinger becoming Jason Heyward. But yeah, I think the big thing is it's really tough. I mean, look, when you're 33 years old, it's going to be 34. Usually you don't see a resurgence at the plate as dramatic as you would hope for Jason Heyward. But yeah, I think from a mindset standpoint, that Cubs team, they were in limbo. They were rebuilding. There was all that talk that was going to be a dynasty of the future. I think he's excited to play alongside a lot of these win-now veterans. And we'll see. I mean, you got J.D. Martinez, you got J.T. Watkins, you got these hitting gurus, and that is something that the Dodgers have. Freddie Freeman. The Freddie Freeman factor is massive. I mean, their lockers are right next to each
not
other.
Even that. I mean, Gavin Lux is somebody who cited Freddie Freeman as somebody who helped him with his swing and his ball game, his approach. Getting Freddie and Heyward back, maybe it brings him back down, brings him back into a better mindset of the good old days in Atlanta, playing with his boy there.
No, absolutely. And I've tried to take my fanboy glasses off and look at this more objectively in recent years, right? Trying to be a professional. But I will say openly that I'm really rooting for Jason Heyward. I mean, he's one of those guys that one of these reclamation projects that I really want to see have success in LA. It almost reminds me of Matt Kemp. Remember when he came back, we thought we weren't going to get much from him. Makes that all-star team. That's what you hope for Jason Heyward. Remember we talked to him at the Jim Beam event. He was really cool to us. I asked him, what's better, Dodger blue or Cubs blue?
He already immediately clowned on Doug, so we like him immediately there too.
He did. I was wearing this ugly Christmas sweater, and he was watching me hit, and I was telling him that the reason why I wasn't hitting dingers was because I was wearing the Christmas sweater. He's like, well, just take it off then. And I was like, no, but then I won't have an excuse, right?
It's like half the comments in here. They want you to take off that shirt, unleash the gun.
Hey, that's for the only fans
out there. The thing is, we drove from LA to Arizona with these sick puppies under Doug's shirt.
Come on now.
Gotta have some
Clint is a fun guy to be on a road show. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. Leave it at that.
We got to shout out Noah, too, for introducing the stupidest game. We had a good time with it, so that's all I got to say about it. We played that game. We played some weird-ass sport game for, 4 hours? 4.5 hours?
We almost drove to Dodger Town in Florida just to continue the game because we didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
But yeah, good times on the road.
I was ready to get the hell out of the car.
Okay.
Alexander Z's D-Max biceps are distracting. Sarah Morris wants, or says, I wish Heyward can make the bench. We need a better bench than 2022. It is, I don't know if I iterated it or laid it out as good as I wanted. I like the idea of Heyward and being on the bench and Outman being better depth in the minor leagues for when an injury happens or when he's needed, or Heyward or Trace Thompson flame out, or if Chris Taylor is hitting $190 in May, all right, you got somebody there. Because otherwise, it's Bradley Zimmer. That
ain't happening.
Steven Duggar.
That's absolutely not happening.
It's a no for me, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, Zimmer is a guy, he had 124 combined with 3 teams last year. I mean, he's a guy that just hasn't been able to prove he can hit big league pitching. He was formerly a top 100 prospect. He does provide value as a runner, though. Defensively, he's posted a plus glove for his entire career. So, yeah, he's the classic case of a guy that defensively can get it done, but there's just such a big difference to hitting big league pitching. But I think the one thing, too, about Jason Heyward, I mean, he doesn't strike out a ton.
That's a great thing. He does have good bat to ball.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we laid it out or dug into it enough, Doug. The swing change, to me, what he did, because his hands were always real tight, but they kind of got him already in a preload set. It looks a lot to me like what they tried to do with Belly in 2021.
And I think he'll be more receptive to what Belly was, because I think at this stage of his career, he knows that he might not get many more opportunities. I mean, this could be it for Jason Heyward if he completely craters and flames out with the Dodgers. But I think the question I have, though, Clint, he's a lefty, of course. Can he hit better than James Outman can hit? I think James Outman, the strikeout rate was sky high in limited opportunities, 43.8%, something like that. But that's kind of part of his game. And I think that's the big question, is if you gave James Outman all those at-bats, would he be able to hit better than Jason Heyward? I think if Heyward gets the opportunity early on, of course, Trayce Thompson is most likely to get that opportunity at the beginning, but we'll see how he fares. I think Heyward is a guy that is going to raise the bar for the Dodgers center field if he's able to improve his play. So, look at those numbers, and you look for things to be optimistic about as far as him turning it around. And other than the Dodgers' magic, right, there's not too much. I mean, he did have a 260 BABIP last season, so he's a left-handed pull hitter. I mean, at times, you think that you might get a little bit of a bump from that standpoint. But I think for him, too, like you just mentioned, mechanically, allowing himself to get to fastballs easier, that's going to really go a long way. But, Heyward, that'd be big.
Gun to your head, yes or no, is he on the opening day roster?
Look, minor league contract with the Major League invite. Look, just vibes-wise, I'm going to just go ahead and say yes.
Attaboy. Getting back into some of the comments here, Doom Sal says he's going to be out here in Arizona on Friday and asking if we have an open couch to sleep on. Yes, but we're not going to have anybody over here. That would be weird.
I'll give the address.
We'll definitely see. We'll definitely see when
I'm going to tweet out the address.
We're going to be at, as long as the Dodgers are playing at home, we're going to be at Camelback Ranch, and if they're playing anywhere on the road here in Arizona, we'll be at those games up until we're not. We get out of here. March 3rd is our final day out in Arizona, so we're going to be here a while, boys and ladies.
I told my landlord I was moving for... Oh, well, I didn't. I'm going to look for a new spot.
Alexander Z says he needs a Blue Heaven podcast t-shirt. I think we have that going back in stock again. Blue Heaven podcast. So much better. No.
That's a great t-shirt.
We have that in stock. GearUp.la. Check it out. If you guys want to support us in a different way, that's a cool way. And we have all of our Dodgers Nation centric merch priced hopefully to be as fair as possible. Boss man, none of us make money on that stuff. It's just about trying to preach the good gospel of Dodgers Nation, just like that hat says. And Doug's back. Fire hat. All right, let's keep moving on quickly into a couple more of the comments, and then let's get into the final two topics, and we'll get out of here. On the road with Gator and Bunny says, fire up that blender and do a drunk show. It'll be like sitting in the general admissions section of Dodger Stadium. Hey, wait. Oh, shit, we have a blender. Guys, we have a blender. Let's go. Special day here. We also, for some reason, have 2 microwaves.
And no water.
Huh?
And no water.
And no water. I'm guessing the microwave up above the range does not work, but still. Brilliant accommodations here from this fine Airbnb people. If we don't have a working microwave, they gave us a working microwave, so you got to respect that. 19 stars already. Hey, did we talk about Edwin Rios signing with the Cubs? I don't know if we did. Edwin Rios signed with the Cubs, finally. He also kind of was sad about the end of his time with the Dodgers. He was butthurt that he didn't get called back up, and rightfully so last year. But anyways, I don't really want to dive into Jason Heyward's friend, Edwin Rios. But 3 former Dodgers now on the Cubs with him, Cody, and Zach McKinstry.
Z-Mac.
None of us got Zach McKinstry as a Z in the game.
Oh,
jeez.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Let's go. Let's see. Mike said I was excited about the pitching staff. I'm very bullish on this pitching staff. If they stay healthy, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a good time. But let's get into the next thing. One of the reasons we could or should be excited about it. A segue. Noah Syndergaard, the guy Noah Cameras wanted here in LA all offseason long. They get him, and he's the latest pitching project, starting pitcher reclamation project that the Dodgers have succeeded. I guess they've had fair success with these type of projects. Of course, we saw it last year mainly with Tyler Anderson. He's got that dog in him.
Got that dog.
Oh, but the early returns so far can't good. He's kind of working on his own No, I guess he does things his own way, it seems. Because he's throwing like back-to-back bullpen days. I guess that was the thing in the media. But the big one was the velocity's back up. They say he's hitting 96 early in bullpens. It looks better. It looks crisper. He says he came here because he wants to be back to being a dominant pitcher in this league again. Can the Dodgers whip out some more magic with another pitcher that has had success in this league in the past?
I absolutely think it's possible. I think the biggest key for Noah Syndergaard last year was the fact that he was, for the most part, healthy. He pitched in 134 in 2/3 innings, and also his walk rate was exceptional. Did not walk many batters in the 86th percentile when it came to his walk rate. The velocity really is the big key. It was down 4 miles per hour from his peak last year, averaged 93.6 miles per hour, had a 6.3 K per nine, not missing as many bats, but I do think that he can possibly not only just benefit from the Dodgers coaching development, but also just another year removed from Tommy John. Remember, he also suffered that lat injury a few years back that also hurt his velocity. But yeah, I think when you consider the fact that he's on a 1-year, $13 million deal, he's playing with the Dodgers, he's playing for an opportunity to get a bigger contract. He needs that Tyler Anderson special that we saw him sign. And like I said, when the Dodgers signed him, I think he's going to be more Thor from Love and Thunder versus Thor from Endgame, where he was out of shape and wasn't really a superstar. So yeah, I do think that the Dodgers can absolutely get the most out of him, and I think that for him, the biggest key is just adapting, not always being that high velocity guy, getting more ground ball outs. I mean, the command to me was so stellar last year that's why I'm so optimistic, because that really is the missing piece of the puzzle. It's just getting that velo, not back to 98.7 miles per hour, but anything in the 96 range, anything in the 95, 96 range consistently, that's going to play out. Because you look at, and he doesn't have a big extension to the home plate or anything like that, so it doesn't like play up kind of like that. But I do think that's really the biggest question for me, because if he is a true number 3 starter for this team, Tony Gonsolin stays healthy, I think Dustin May is a guy who I think has the potential to be an all-star this year, really be this year's Tony Gonsolin as far as the guy that has the breakthrough year, as far as some of his mechanical tweaks and his adjustments. But what does he lack? It's the command. Yeah. Syndergaard doesn't lack the command. He has the command of just putting it all together. So I'm definitely high on the possibility of it. But if he can be a true number 3 and some of these other guys don't emerge, I still am in favor of going out there and exploring the trade market. You know I want Corbin Burns. You know that I've replaced Luis Castillo as my former Dream Dodger with Corbin Burns. So I am trying to manifest that every chance I get the prayer circle candles around trade for Corbin Burns. But yeah, I'm very high on him, and also got to give a lot of credit for Mr. Noah Cameras, who is also named Noah, and he was the first guy I saw that really pushed for the Dodgers to sign him when free agency began.
Check it out on our, what was that, Christmas wish list, or is that, yeah, there it is, Christmas wish list, DodgersNation.com. While you're there, go ahead and subscribe. And we also should remind you, DodgersNation.com/giveaways. We have one more week of our Freddie Freeman jersey giveaway. You have one more week to enter. The contest ends on Sunday, and we'll be announcing the winner right here on this stream next Monday, the 27th of February. So tune in to see if you win that delicious Freddie Freeman jersey as made by Nike. We also got 2 super chats, both MH. Let's go, MH. Woo! So MH is throwing $19.99 our way for it's a tissue vapor rub. D-Mac. Stay healthy. Yes, we got some sniffles. We got
this time last year.
We got allergies. We got everything. Oh yeah, that is a good point.
Let's show that picture.
And he also threw another $20 our way for some craft beer.
Woo!
Let's go.
Yo,
this guy's finally old enough to drink with us out here too.
Done.
Capri Sun for me.
Appreciate you as always. As Noah says, MH is the literal goat. So that's a goat, right?
Yeah.
Totally a goat. All right, and then the final thing we wanted to talk about, Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts doing Dave Roberts things. He doesn't care about the headlines. He doesn't care about the San Diego Padres winning the offseason in the National League West. He's okay with the Dodgers not being the favorites to win the West or the favorites to win a World Series or even the National League pennant. He cares about his ball club playing its best brand of baseball throughout the season, pulling for each other, playing with and for each other. Maybe not with each other. That's something different. That'd be a little problematic in the clubhouse. But Thoughts on Dave's commentary to his team in his first speech at Camelback yesterday?
Well, I'm just happy they didn't guarantee the World Series again. Because last year, I don't know if he guaranteed the Little League World Series, the World Series of Poker. Wasn't the Major League Baseball World Series. So I believe what he says. I trust what he says. And I think, look at the players we've been talking about. Noah Syndergaard, Jason Heyward. You got guys like Miguel Rojas. Are they thinking about winning the World Series and getting this team to first place? Or are they trying to continue their Major League Baseball careers and just continue to have success? I mean, a lot of these guys, it's a job for them, right? You want to do the best at your job, and winning is a byproduct of that. So yeah, from a mentality standpoint, I think from an organizational standpoint, that to me is where it's more important. Because I don't think these guys are in the clubhouse going, rah, rah, this and that. We care that we're the favorites. No, this is baseball. It's more of a cerebral game. You have to go out there and concentrate. But from an organizational standpoint, how they manage the bullpen, how they manage some of these starters, I mean, I like the idea of, look, do you want to go for broke for 111 wins, or do you want to develop some guys during the year that could help you in the postseason? Do you want to play with some things that you think that can help you have more of a chance to win it all in October? So I think organizationally, it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit. And you say to yourself, oh, if this team does go on a 3 or 4 game losing streak or something like that, it's not the end of the world, because the last 2 years have proven that. Phillies 87 wins, Braves 88 wins. As long as you get to the dance, you have a chance. And that rhymed actually, but so yeah, I do like the approach, but I think Dave Roberts, there's always this kind of rallying cry at the beginning of every single spring training. I mean, last year I can vividly remember him telling that team that, get ready for 8 months, 9 months, because we're playing until October and this and that. So I think this is the time of year that he does that. I think that really the thing that stands out that really resonated the most with me yesterday was him saying that, yeah, when spring training first starts, you're excited to see your old teammates, you're excited to catch up, but by the second week, third week, it's very monotonous. It's a grind. So just kind of staying focused and getting better each every day and really falling in love with the grind of it, like you said. But yeah, as long as it doesn't guarantee the World Series.
The comments, of course, immediately we're talking Dave Roberts. We got a few. Fire Dave Roberts in the comments. So
can you imagine how much that shirt would sell? And I love Dave. I'm a Dave defender, but that shirt would sell like firecrackers. Sometimes it's about the money. Okay,
I got a guy.
Yeah.
But
no.
that's also
extend Dave.
Year 8 for Dave. It's got to be hard coming up with these BS speeches each year.
Damn, it's year 8 for Dave, bro.
We old.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The reality is he wins another World Series, he's on track for the Hall of Fame. That's a tough pill to swallow for the Dave haters. But yeah, I do think though, like here's just kind of a topic out of nowhere. I mean, if this team flames out, I think he is going to firmly be on the hot seat. If this team doesn't advance past the NLDS or get back to the World Series, if this team wins 1 game in the NLDS, there's going to be a lot of chatter, and that seat is going to be on fire under Dave Roberts. So it's a big year for Dave, absolutely.
But that's all we got for today, guys. Hashtag Fire Dave Roberts. If you want the shirt, let us know in the comments below. We're going to be out here for a very long time here at Spring Training, bringing you as much content as possible. So again, make sure you subscribe to all of our stuff. Follow DMAC_LA. Follow Dodgers Nation on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe here on YouTube. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Hit the bell. All those things you can do. Go Lakers.
Hit the whoa. Hit the gritty. You gotta see Clinton's gritty. I'm telling you, I'm gonna film it. I'm putting it on the channel.
If I tried
guaranteed
to right now,
2 billion views, bro.
Literally fall apart.
It's a fire gritty, bro. He's being humble. You respect that about this man.
We'll go get like 80 gallons of coffee and then go to sleep. But guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Always appreciate the comments and questions. We'll try to make these get better. Hopefully they sound a little bit better when we do this. We'll figure that one out. But until next time, think blue, bleed blue. We out.
We out.